You can feel the rhythm and the heat in Fort Lauderdale. The champions are back. The competitions are over. It's time to play on the ice. Michelle Kwan won her 4th world crown, and the celebration has begun. Yevgeny Plushenko won his 1st world title, and the beat goes on. Sally and Pelche are the world champs. They can feel it. Brian Boitano leads the Champions on Ice cast.
At night, when you turn off all the lights, there's no place that you can hide. No, no, the rhythm is gonna get you. 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 The rhythm is gonna get you tonight. Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you tonight.
Josie and the Pussycats are coming to theaters April 11th. The rhythm has got them. They are presenting tonight's Champions on Ice. The National Car Rental Center is the place as Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. Olympic, world, and national champions are all here. They can feel the beat.
Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you.
I'm Tracy Wilson along with Rosalind Sumners and First on the Ice. 1995 U.S. champion and world bronze medalist. Here's Nicole Bobeck.
You have to understand the way I am, I'm here. A tiger is a tiger, not a lamb, I'm here. You'll never turn the vinegar to jam, I'm here. So I do what I do. When I'm through, then I'm through, and I'm through to you. I buy myself a hair, just take my hair, just lose my hair and go by. Take my hair, I my hair, bring me that hair in my hair. I buy my hair, and go by. Take my hair.
Each year, Nicole impresses me with the strides she makes in her skating, her look, her choice of music. It's polished and mature, and of course, hello, her natural ability to entertain an audience.
She certainly has it. Nicole Bobek. Charisma.
Many more champions still to come. And hey, speaking of charisma, World Peer Champions Jamie Salé, David Pelche. They're coming up next. We welcome you back to Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice.
Action. We don't need anybody. No, yeah.
Nicole and Rudy don't need anybody except for perhaps a voice coach. Meanwhile, skaters hanging loose backstage. Michelle Kwan keeping trim. We'll see her a little later. Hello, everybody. I'm Tracy Wilson, backstage at the 24th Champions on Ice Tour, where the skaters do their last-minute prepping and pacing before they take the ice. Traditionally, this tour marks the end of a long, hard season, with many of the skaters coming fresh off the recent World Championships. In fact, tonight you will see the recently crowned World Champions in the pairs, the men's, and the ladies. I'm joined, as always, by Olympic silver medalist Rosalind Sumners. And Roz, this marks the end of one season, but it also is the start of a new season. And with the Olympic Games just 10 months away, how heavily is that weighing on the minds of the skaters?
Oh, Tracy, I can guarantee you right now, the Olympics 10 months away is the last thing the skaters are thinking of. They have plenty of time to worry and prepare before Salt Lake City. But right now, it's 20 cities of pure relief. No judges, no pressure, no more training. It is for fun. It is for themselves, and it is for the audience. They're going to go home after this. They're going to sit down with their coaches and their teams. They're going to come up with the formula and the game plan for the Olympics. But right now, it's all about fun.
Imagine the emotion of winning your first world title in front of your home country. Here are the current World Pair Champions from Canada, Jamie Salé and David Pelche. Tonight they skate to Cha-Cha-Cha d'Amour by Dean Martin.
Would you like another cigarette, darling? You know, when I look at you, all of a sudden my heart sings. And I remember little kid, your voice upon the telephone, the little laugh, that's all they know. The way you smile, that's a the way you look up, it's a the magic feels in secret wave last night to let me know you understand the wind and rain upon your face, the brightest world of your embrace.
Well, they charmed and thrilled everyone in Vancouver. I don't think there was a dry eye in the arena, and now they own that coveted title, world champion. And Jamie says she still can't believe it, but she loves it when they announce it.
From Canada, Jamie Salé and David Pelletier. When we come back, America's rising star, Sasha Cohen.
We welcome you back to Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. Working with us as well tonight, Dee Lynam.
We're with Jamie Salé and David Pelletier and world champions. Just talk about how far you guys have come since you first teamed up.
Can't really put that into words so shortly, but we've been through a lot of actually probably more down times than ups, and I think this year we just really wanted it really bad, and we worked really hard all summer and all winter and stayed on track and kept in our little team, and it worked out really well.
Standing on that podium had to feel great.
It felt kind of amazing, and what made it so sweet was the fact that we were at home. I mean, it would have been sweet, don't get me wrong, anywhere in the world, but having those 17,000 people behind us and being happy for us, it made it so wonderful.
David, I know your home had a fire. Were you able to keep that in perspective with, like, you can have great moments and then you can also have some down?
Yeah, it's bad luck. I mean, it happens to, we're normal people, and it happens to normal people. So, I mean, you just go to a great friend and you stay there, and I actually got my car stolen too, so.
Oh, no.
In 2 weeks, so that wasn't great. But, you know, we said it's enough bad luck. So when we leave for Vancouver, good luck will happen. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Great. Congratulations. Continue.
Thank you very much.
A back injury kept 16-year-old Sasha Cohen from competing at the recent national championships. It's an injury which she hopes is now behind her.
It's going great. I've taken a little bit of time off, and getting back to the ice, you know, it wasn't easy, but I kept, you know, pushing every day. My stroking, I feel, has improved so much, and my spins, and now I'm building my jumps back up again. And I'm just hoping to peak at nationals and hopefully Olympics and Worlds next year. And I think so far as things are going, you know, they're going great. They're right on track. I have a few jumps consistent already, and I think that one of the things that was lacking last year, my speed, is right up there at the top now.
Unfortunately for Sasha, she has not been able to put all of her injuries behind her. She fell in practice yesterday and is skating tonight with 8 stitches in her hand. Here is 16-year-old Sasha Cohen.
Sasha is one of our rising American stars, and she has a wonderful blend of the jumps and the grace. She's like a ballerina on the ice. And with the difficulty of this rhythmic gymnastics combined, she actually worked with Kati Gordieva, who had done a number similar to this. At such a young age, the audience is already appreciating this huge talent.
16-year-old Sasha Cohen. We have many more champions still to come. Led by world champion Michelle Kwan, the three ladies world medalists are busy backstage awaiting their turns on the ice. A reminder that this Saturday at 2 p.m. on TNT, it's the premiere of the new Women's Professional Soccer League, with Mia Hamm and the Washington Freedom hosting Brandy Chastain and the Bay Area Cyber Rays. Check it out this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TNT.
From Ukraine, Viktor Petrenko.
Next on the ice, the 1992 Olympic champion from Ukraine. He now is a resident of Simsbury, Connecticut. Skating to an Elvis medley, here is Viktor Petrenko.
I knew at the beginning of this piece it was going to be Jailhouse Rock. This number was a departure from his Baryshnikov on ice, but he's always a crowd pleaser. And like you and I were saying, Victor's probably the only one that could get away with wearing stripes that way in a costume, right?
Not something I'd want to try.
31-year-old Victor Petrenko.
When we come back, two-time world pair champions Elena Berezhnaya and Anton Tsikhuridze of Russia will take the ice as we continue with Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice.
This is Michelle. Today there are no bright lights, no crowds, no TV cameras. It's just her, the ice, and her desire to be nothing less than the best in the world. Discipline creates performance. AIM funds. The idea is discipline. The purpose is performance. The name is AIM.
Welcome back to the Springtime Fun in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Along with Rosalind Sumners and Dee Lynham, I'm Tracy Wilson, bringing you Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. It's time now for our AFLAC trivia question. Now, we all know that Jamie Salé and David Pelletier are the recent world champions, but before them, who are the last Canadian pair team to win the world title? We'll have the answer coming up. When Artur Dmitriev and his partner Natalia Mishkachonok won Olympic gold in 1992, Artur's Olympic career was just beginning. In 1994, at the Lillehammer Games, Artur paired again with Natalia, and this time, the couple won a silver medal. In Nagano, it was now the team of Oksana Kozakova and Artur Dmitriev. The gold medal was Artur's again. He has seen it all over 15 years, and the future will bring many more changes to pairs.
I hope so. It's gonna be more about changing, more about artistic, more about presentation, some ideas, because we can't make all triple jump like, because we have a lot of different elements. And of course, after a few years, 3 years, the pair gonna do quad throw and 2 triple jumps, but it's coming very slow, because it's a very tough sport. I think pair skating is mostly, by difficulty, tough sport, because there's too many different elements.
Next on the ice, the current Olympic champions skating to somewhere out there. Here are Oksana Kozakova and Artur Dmitriev.
Somewhere out there, beneath the moonlight, someone's thinking of me and loving me tonight.
Somewhere out there,
Tracy, not only does her smile light up this building, but they have innovative moves that are so impressive. They have class, beautiful lines, and a look that inspires the other pair teams. This is what you do with an Olympic medal.
Innovative choreography by a legendary coach, Tamara Moskvina, Oksana Kozakova, and Artur Dmitriev, Olympic champions. On the ice now, the two-time world pair champions, Olympic silver medalists. They finished second at the recent World Championships in Canada. From Russia, here are Elena Berezhnaya and Anton Sikerlidze, and they skate to Charlie Chaplin.
Tracy, this is such a creative number, a nice look for them. It brings out a whimsical side of their They're skating that we've never seen, and they have waited 4 years to stand atop of that Olympic podium, and the countdown starts now.
23-year-old Elena Berezhnaya, her 24-year-old partner Anton Sikerlidze. They now train in Hackensack, New Jersey in preparation for Salt Lake. We'll be back right after this. We welcome you back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. And it's time now for the answer of our AFLAC trivia question. The last Canadian pair team before Sally and Pelche to win the world title? You're right, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. They won it in '93. Now let's go backstage and join Dee Lynam, who's with Sasha Cohen.
All right, let me ask you though, first thing, is it all in the wrist?
You know, a lot of it is, and to keep, you know, it away from your body, because first show I did, it got tangled around my leg.
While you were skating?
Yeah, during the number, so I had to get it off.
What was the inspiration to even use this in your routine?
Well, I watched rhythmic gymnastics quite a bit, and I think it's just gorgeous, and it inspired me. You know, they do such amazing things with it. I thought it would be really nice to bring it to the ice.
And you're someone who is very much into the arts, like you like designing your own
Yeah,
fashion.
I love designing and clothes, makeup, everything.
All right, so what's the hardest part of it when you're out there?
I guess being aware of the ribbon, but also not just letting that take over everything, because you have to pay attention to all the other parts of your body. And there's certain things you have to learn, like you can't skate backwards with it behind you or it'll stick, or forwards with it in front of you, you know. A lot of manipulating, and one part of,
Like
I made a knot.
I know. Ooh, did I do that?
It's okay. In one part of the program, I do 3 turns, so, hold on.
Absolutely.
I think I got it. I do one part of the program where I have to be turning from forwards to backwards, so I have to do this with it. Whoops. So it's difficult, you know, you have to learn what's going to happen when you're moving, because it's completely different than when you're on the ice.
Last thing, how long is that? Do you know?
It's about 6 meters. It's pretty long.
Yeah. It's a lot longer than you.
So it's just a lot of playing with it, because, you know, if your timing's slightly off, it'll get stuck. And especially when I bring it over my head, it's got to come down pretty quickly so that, you know, the top doesn't touch the rest of the ribbon.
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
On the ice now, 5-time European champion, now a professional. And as a skater, her unconventional style was never appreciated by the international judges, but it makes her a crowd favorite. 9-time national champion of France. Here is Surya Bonali.
Well, she brings a flair to the ice that no one else can. And of course, Tracy, that famous back flip.
She was born in Nice and currently resides in Las Vegas, Nevada. 27 years of age, Surya Bonali of France.
Well, while Surya has mastered the backflips, we've got the masters of the quad coming up next. Timothy Gable and Elvis Stojko. Many more champions still to come.
Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you tonight. Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you tonight.
State Farm is a proud sponsor of U.S. figure skating because little girls have big dreams too. Welcome back to Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. A home run in figure skating is the quad, and some of these men here tonight are the best in the world at hitting skating's long one. Two of the best are ready to take the ice.
On the ice now, a skater known for his jumps. The first skater to land 2 different quads in one program and competition. He's the current U.S. men's champion, 4th in the world. 20-year-old Timothy Gable. Tonight, Timothy skates to Ricky Martin's Cup of Life.
going into the Olympics is to step up the artistry. Nobody will gain more from touring every night than Tim. Every night you feed off the audience, you feed off the other skaters artistically, and you learn what to give the audience.
Timothy Gable of the United States, 4th in the world this year, but if he can get his level of artistry to match his jumps, look out next year. He's been an Olympic silver medalist twice and 3 times a world champion. This year, due to injuries, he did not compete until the World Championships, where he finished a disappointing 10th in front of his home country. Here is 29-year-old Elvis Stojko.
This is one of the biggest crowd pleasers on this tour, but Tracy, he might want to start kissing some judges because he has a hefty job ahead of him for the next 10 months between the Russians and Todd Eldridge. It's going to take a lot to crack into that top spot in Salt Lake City.
From Canada, the explosive Elvis Stojko.
Olympic champion Brian Boitano will take the ice next. Welcome back to Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. The image of Brian Boitano winning the gold medal in 1988 is one of the Olympics' greatest moments. Since that February night over 13 years ago, Brian's career remains unparalleled in the sport, and it leaves him somewhat overwhelmed by the admiration of his skating peers.
I'm always stunned when people say, you know, I was talking to Jamie Salé and David, her partner, at the rink today, and they were talking about, she was talking about how she opened up her journal from 1988 and wrote about the Olympics, 1988 Olympics, and she was like, she said in her journal, I'm so happy that Brian Boitano won, he was great. And whenever I hear skaters say something nice about me like that, I'm flattered, for one thing, and it's always brings a question in my mind because whenever I watch myself skate, I don't understand what they see. I mean, I always look at myself with a very critical eye. I'm my worst critic, and I always say, gosh, that could be better, or that could be better, and it's never been quite, on video, it's never been quite what I wanted to see. So I'm always surprised.
Now let's join our colleague, Jim Huber.
In our stampede now towards Salt Lake City and next year's Winter Olympic Games, there will come the tendency to perhaps let the dust clutter our senses a bit, to forget for just a moment those who blazed the trail. And in large and splendid fashion, they come to us here tonight, skating's grand old men. And you can almost see them standing off to the side, watching the young pups fight. Been there, done that, moved on. They are performers now, pure and simple, paid to just entertain us. No longer are they possessed by the technical end of the business. They work only for our approval each show. Appreciate them for that tonight. Brian Boitano, who cut his teeth on American championships as a youngster before winning 2 world titles in the late 80s. The man who is one of the battling Bryans, bringing men's skating to the world's consciousness. Victor Petrenko, the Baryshnikov of ice, in his 3rd decade on the world stage now. Philippe Candeloro, one of the sport's most dynamic showmen, even as an amateur, but as a pro, beyond compare. Rudy Galindo, who gave HIV a face on tour, but who never stopped performing, never stopped lighting up crowds with his art. They are the sport's godfathers, the greatest of their generation, perhaps another to boot. Been there, done that? Brian Boitano has been in both the U.S. and World Figure Skating Halls of Fame for 6 years now. Been there, still doing that. And so on a night like this, then, we are treated to that rare extravagance of yesterday and tomorrow. And for a few fleeting hours, it is very difficult to tell the difference.
Thanks, Jim. And it's no question Brian Boitano inspires and motivates most of the skaters on this tour. Tonight, Brian skates to blue.
Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in a blue world. And all day and all night and everything he sees is just blue. Like him, inside and outside
choreographer of the Gap ads, Brian Goes Blue. This is a fun number. He's as strong as ever. And boy, does he know how to show the younger guys what it's all about when you're Olympic champion.
The legendary Brian Boitano. We'll be back with more Champions on Ice.
Welcome back to sunny Fort Lauderdale. And if you want to plan ahead, here are the remaining cities champions on ice we'll visit on this tour.
All right, we're with two old friends, longtime friends, I should say, Michelle Kwan and Brian Boitano. You guys, tell me if I'm right on this, that the way you guys prepare your work ethic in terms of skating soulmates, fair to say?
We have a lot of similarities. I mean, preparing for a show and a competition. I think we all are we're very serious in the backstage.
We are.
Yeah. Just before we skate, we usually have our time out and just regroup and, you know, focus on what we have to do on the ice. But, you know, after we're done skating, we just let loose and have fun.
But we're very mellow. Michelle and I approach our skating from really more of a Zen-like type. We see skaters who punch themselves and get hyper, and Michelle and I don't really get ready that way. We like to...
Yeah, you know, we were just talking in the dressing room, like Jamie
Saleh.
Jamie Saleh and Isabel Brassoul. We were back in the locker room, and she's like, I'm very chatty before I get out there, and I can't. I'm very, like, just by myself. Even with, like, I'm sure you're the same way with Linda, coach. It's like...
But even before she skates every night, I don't talk to her, I pat her. So she knows, like, you know, I go, you know, like, sort of good luck. I don't have to say anything, but I don't like talking either for hours before I skate.
All right, let me ask you a question. At Worlds, you see it, you say...
Yeah. I said what the press said she said, but she didn't say.
Which was?
F yeah.
I didn't say that.
I know you didn't.
No,
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I said.
Can you do that? I love this.
I was like, yeah! I was just, I haven't seen the tape yet, but I heard that people said that they've never seen so much emotion. Because usually I'm just like, oh, that was good, you know, I skated well and smile. But I just let it go. End of the program, I was like,
All right, well, you guys are both great. And I love that you chatted with me. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
World champions and Olympic medalists with different partners. Together, they are world professional champions. From Russia, Maya Usova and Yevgeny Platov.
battles with other partners, but it's together that they've captured the magic and sultry style that leaves you wanting more.
Beautiful. World Professional Ice Dance champions Maya Usova and Yevgeny Platkov.
When we come back, two-time Olympic bronze medalist Felipe Candeloro will take the ice. Back to Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. Once again, let's join Dee Lynam.
We are backstage with the bronze world medalist. Wow, how good does that sound?
Sounds pretty good, especially after where I was last year, sitting on the sidelines. So.
But you take me back to that. You did take a break from competition. Did you find that it paid off, especially when you're standing on that podium?
I think so, you know, especially when I was standing there, you know, I was thinking, you know, I took the last couple years off. This is pretty darn good for doing that. So, you know, I think it was very beneficial for me to do and kind of recharge the batteries and then, you know, get in there this year and get a medal and hopefully next year do a similar thing.
Anything in terms of maybe something you learned in the whole process of this year and taking the break that you say, ooh, I'm for sure taking this with me as I head towards Salt Lake?
Well, I think so. You know, I think, you know, taking the break, like I said, you know, was able to kind of calm down and you know, get healthy and try and get back into training again. And I think, you know, I've learned a lot this year with getting back into training of how I used to train, and you know, I think it was a good idea for me to come back this year before throwing myself into next year. You know, with the pressures of the Olympics and things like that. You know, I think I've learned, you know, what I need to do at the beginning of the season to have a good end of the season.
Congratulations and continued success.
Thank you.
Now on the ice with a background from the floor in acrobatics and gymnastics. Here is the team of Vladimir Besidin and Alexei Polishuk. Vladimir Besedin and Alexei Polishuk. They are unique to this sport.
On the ice now, Francis Heartthrob, a two-time Olympic medalist who's known for his character pieces. Here with the Spanish medley is Felipe Candeloro. Well, at the top I said he was known for his character pieces. I should have added and taking his clothes off.
Well, he's got an entire wardrobe on the ice. But the women are screaming. He's got a lot of unique moves, and they love him.
Philippe Candeloro of France. We'll be back with more after this.
15-year-old Sarah Hughes from the United States getting ready to take the ice. Let's listen in as her coach Robin Wagner gives her last-minute instructions.
Think of attitude on the food, okay? And everything really firm. Hands, really see those hands, and then move that past it. Okay? Have fun with it. You know, like really, that's the only way it's gonna like really sell. You gotta get into it.
Welcome back to Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice Tour. And Roz, from the way you're dressed, you look like you just came off the set. What are you trying to do, steal the spotlight again?
Tracy, I don't want the skaters to have all the fun tonight.
Well, they're not, because we're having a lot of fun watching them. And still to come, the three ladies that stood atop the podium at the recent World Championships. We know a lot about Michelle Kwan and Irina Slutskaya of Russia, but 15-year-old Sarah Hughes of the United States really served notice when she stepped up to win the bronze medal.
And wow, Tracy, the most impressive fact about Sarah Hughes is that she has rocketed into that third place. She's gone from 7th to 5th to 3rd. She has definitely served notice, and she is heading into the Olympics, one of the three ladies that gets to go. And let me tell you, she wants to stay on the top of that podium. It's going to be an exciting 10 months to Salt Lake City.
Don't forget, Raj, she still has to make that Olympic team, but she is certainly one of the skaters to beat. Tonight, Sarah skates to music from Broadway. City from Sarah Hughes. From Great Neck, New York, Sarah Hughes, coached by Robin Wagner. And you know, at the top, Robin asked her for attitude. That's what she gave tonight, showing more artistic flair each time out. Stay tuned for this message about the upcoming movie, Josie and the Pussycats.
No, 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 yeah.
They're gonna do the Aerosmith one.
Did it start?
Don't quit your day job. We'll watch Rudy skate in a moment. First, let's join Dee.
Backstage with Sarah Hughes, who is fresh off a bronze at the Worlds. That has to feel great to say, does it?
Yeah, it's so amazing, you know. Now when it's here, it's like a U.S. silver medalist and the new world bronze medalist, and every time it's so exciting, and it's like, oh, you know.
Now, I said to you, having such a great performance, you'd want to bottle whatever you did before you went to Worlds. So what was that whole little routine that I've heard you did before you went to Worlds?
Well, you know, when I get to competition, I like to pretend it's at home. So, you know, I always bring my computer, and I love to go online. So I talk to my friends, and I go online, and I talk to my friends online, and my brothers and sisters, and just have a lot of fun because, you know, I'm away, and I can visit places. It's a lot of fun.
Is it true that you are a babysitter and that you can also cook as well?
Yes, that's true. Before I left for Worlds, I babysat for my sister and two of her friends, and, you know, made waffles for them and everything, and we just had a lot of fun.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And on the ice now, a two-time U.S. bronze medalist. He's now a professional and has developed quite a reputation for his sense of humor. Skating to Bugs and Elmer. Here's Dan Hollander.
Wabbit twat.
Welcome to my shop. Let me cut your mop. Let me shave your crop. Daintily, daintily. Hey, don't look so perplexed. Why must you be vexed? Can't you see your next? Yes, you're next. You're so next. How about a nice close shave? Teach your whiskers to behave. Lots of lather, lots of soap. Please hold still, don't do your dope. Now we're ready for the scraping. There's no use to try escaping. Yell and scream and rant and rave. It's no use, you need a shave. Oh, ouch, ouch, oh, ouch, oh, oh, ouch. There, you're nice and clean. Although your face looks like it might have gone through a machine. Oh, where do I get that wabbit? What would you want with a wabbit? Can't you see that I'm much sweeter? I'm your little senorita. You are my type of guy. Let me straighten your tie, and I shall dance for you.
It is said that comedy is the hardest genre to do well. Dan Hollander has found his niche.
He's a United States National Champion and World Professional Champion, Rudy Galindo.
With his Fosse medley, here's Rudy.
Hey, good looking. I like your hair. Hey, mister, you got a cigarette for me, huh? Monsieur, you speak French? Parlez-vous français?
Hey, cowboy, you want to dance? A little dance won't hurt you.
Guy, you want a tango? It always takes two to tango. Oh, you're so tall.
Let's have some fun.
In the joint, I could see you were a man of distinction, a real big spender, good looking, so refined. See, wouldn't you like to know what's going on in my mind? So let me get right to the point. I don't pop my cork for every guy I see. Hey, big spender! A little time with Do you wanna have fun?
How's about up you?
Relax. I can show you a good time. How's about you? Relax, relax, relax. Show you relax, relax. Good time. Relax, good time. Fun, relax, good time.
Tracy, Rudy has an enduring energy and passion for skating and entertaining. His attitude is inspiring, and his fight and happiness, it's what endears him to his audience.
Rudy Galindo of the United States, and it was on this tour a year ago that he acknowledged the fact that he was HIV positive, and it's that attitude, Roz, that you talk about that has got him through that, and he looks as though he hasn't missed a beat.
We welcome you back to Fort Lauderdale, and Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. Let's join Dee Lynam.
Rudy, about a year ago this time, we all found out that you were HIV positive, and I read something recently where you said, like, talking about it on Good Morning America was easier than any gold medal you ever won. Why? How so?
I think it's just easier for me to talk about my HIV positive disease that I have right now because I feel like I'm helping people and I'm showing people in the world that you don't have to give up because you have this disease, that use me as an example. I could go out there and still achieve my goals, and I think it's just a lot easier than talking about a gold medal. I'm here to tell people don't give up your dreams.
Along those same lines, this particular routine is so you, and the fans love it. How liberating to be able to go out, skate, and be yourself.
It is. That's one of the reasons when I saw Fosse on Broadway, I was like, okay, that is so me. You know, they're all in black, and they're so great with their dancing, and they're so flamboyant, and I thought, yeah, that's my style. So I thought I'd go in that direction of more Broadway. Fits my style.
And you look good, and you feel great.
Yeah, feel great.
He had a season plagued by injuries that culminated in a 5th place finish at the Nationals and a 3rd place at the Four Continents. 2-time world bronze medalist and twice a U.S. national champion. Here is Michael Weiss skating to the Backstreet Boys.
Again. Brothers, sisters, everybody say, gonna bring the flame, I'll show you how. Got a question for you, better answer now. Yeah.
Nobody's happier about that than Michael Weiss.
Michael got a taste of Salt Lake at the Four Continents a few months ago where he won the bronze medal, hoping to step on top that podium again 10 months from now. We'll be back with a lot more right after this.
Takes a lot to get a golf club out of Todd Eldridge's hand. Hey, world silver medalist Irina Slutskaya can do it. We'll see her next. On April 11th, Josie and the Pussycats premieres across the United States. It's the story of 3 young girls who reach rock and roll stardom. Stardom has been fleeting for Irina Slutskaya. She is now a 3-time world silver medalist, and she knows how difficult it will be to someday win a world gold medal.
I don't know. I don't want to think about it because this is my dream world, win the worlds. You know, Olympic is important, of course, but I really want to be the world champion. Maybe someday, when everyone finishes the skate, I will be old and I will win the world.
She won every competition she entered this season except for the World Championships, where she finished second to Michelle Kwan. Tonight, she skates to Timeless. Here is 22-year-old Irina Slutskaya of Russia.
Well, she has 3 world silver medals. She was so disappointed in Vancouver. She said she cried for 2 days, but she goes into Salt Lake City still as the underdog. And I say that is the envious position to be in. Nothing will stop her technically. She just needs more of a total package to be the Olympic champion.
The triple-triple combinations have earned her a spot in the record books. She's now hoping they'll take her to atop the Olympic podium. We'll be right back after this. two-time U.S. national champions and the current world professional ice dance champions. Skating to Dido by area, the husband and wife team of Elizabeth Punsalan and Jared Swallow.
The emotion of their skating just draws you in, and the sensuality and how they relate to each other create a beautiful work of art.
They've been professional since '98, and they've lost nothing technically, artistically. They've matured as a team. Elizabeth Punsalan and Jared Swallow. American Todd Eldridge is next. We'll be back after this. Each skater hangs out in his or her own way backstage. Elizabeth Punsalan cooling down with some yoga.
There's Lloyd Eisler, babysitting partner Isabel Brassour's little girl, Gabriella. Shortly, we'll see world champion Yevgeny Plushenko back on the ice with a few surprises.
We welcome you back to the National Car Rental Center. I'm Tracy Wilson, joined by Rosalind Sumners, and on the ice now, a five-time U.S. champion who, after taking 2 years off from national and world competition, came back this year to finish second at the U.S. Nationals and skated to a bronze medal at the World Championship. Here's Todd Eldridge. His music, Thank You for Loving Me.
You and me, that broken old street light, like the doors from the world outside. All I've got to give to you are these 5 words, and I ain't beg you for love, for being my
biggest fans. He skates, he competes, he keeps fighting with such class. And Tracy, this Bon Jovi song, Thank You for Loving Me, it's how he feels about his fans, his supporters, and he is full speed ahead towards Salt Lake City. He wants to be on the podium this time.
Interesting, Roz, at the World Championships, in every portion of the competition, Todd had the audience standing before he finished skating. A lot of fans cheering him on. And when we come back, we'll see a different side of the current world champion, Yevgeny Plushenko. The current Russian, European, and world champion. Here is 18-year-old Yevgeny Plushenko of Russia. Often skates to traditional Russian folk music. Today, sex bomb.
In Vancouver, but I do remember, Tracy, losing count in the triple jump department, a strong threat in Salt Lake City.
Yevgeny Plushenko of Russia. He's got rhythm, and as they say, if you've got it, flaunt it.
World champion Yevgeny Plushenko with a distinctly different look. Good luck, D-Lineham. You're up against the Incredible Hulk. And no, he's not going to let you.
How can
I beat this incredible man.
No, you win.
Two-time Olympic bronze medalist, world pair champions from Canada, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler of Canada. Isabelle and her husband Rocky Marvel are the proud parents of daughter Gabriella, age 5 months. And Gabriella and her grandmother have joined them on this tour.
Well, I'll tell you, my hat's off to Isabelle for coming out here and being fit and skating great 5 months after giving birth. I think I might not be doing that, Tracy.
Up next, world champion Michelle Kwan. There was always a quiet confidence surrounding Michelle Kwan. We first saw it in 1993 at the Olympic Sports Festival. When she won her first of 4 world championships in 1996, that confidence was growing. And then in Vancouver, Michelle added difficulty to her program. The critics who said she didn't attack her skating were silenced. This world championship was perhaps Michelle's sweetest.
This year's World Championships were definitely very satisfying because I've had a roller coaster season. I started off the season very slow, just organizing things in my head, physically in my program. I was working hard, but it just wasn't smart. And it seemed like as the season progressed, I got better and more accurate with my jumps and with my technique, and everything seemed to click. And I was a little worried before the World Championships if I was going to be ready. But it seemed like the week I was there, I was completely confident. I had a lot of good practices under my belt, and I felt ready and just on fire. We can't plateau at such a high, intense level all the time. There's going to be highs and lows. And when I started the season, it was definitely a downer because I wasn't myself yet. I wasn't confident. I wasn't at my peak. And it seemed as the year progressed, I got more organized, better at what I was doing, and just my focus became more into that zone.
and I was really focused on the World Championships, and I just felt that that was where I wanted to be my best.
Once again, let's join Jim Huber.
She is tiny for a giant, frail for a woman of steel, a wisp of an immortal, just a child who has been with us, it seems, forever, been on the world's ice since the invention of the skate. It is good that Michelle Kwan wears lace and frills and such delicate trappings to mask the unbreakable foundation. She certainly gave no hint of it in Vancouver with her remarkably charged performance at the World Championships recently, but there must be a butterfly or two loose inside. Perhaps still a cocoon, ready to unfurl very soon, now that she has moved again within just months of her final goal. No longer a year until gold, it is months now, and soon it will be weeks, and then days, and then just hours. But it must still feel like forever. Salt Lake City cannot arrive quickly enough for the magnificent Miss Kwan. She has breathed it, slept it, tasted it, since the disappointment of Nagano 3 years past. For all of her championships, and there are now 4 worlds in her collection, there remains that one huge gap in her resume, Olympic gold. We saw a different fire from her at the Worlds, a resolve that didn't seem to be there in Nagano for sure. It wasn't simply going out and nailing triple-triples. It was something far deeper and more emotional than mere technicalities. And she will take not only that fire and that resolve, but a bit of history with her to Salt Lake. The last 4 female world champions, Witt, Yamaguchi, Bayul, Lipinski, all went on to win the gold. Will Kwan make it 5? These may be the longest 10 months in Michelle Kwan's life. But for somebody with her sense of history and style, it could be a ride to remember.
She's a 5-time national champion and 4-time world champion, Michelle Kwan.
On the ice now, a tremendous ovation for the 5-time national champion, the 4-time and current world champion. Skating to this time around, here's Michelle Kwan.
This time around, I'll take a moment. This time around, I'll make it last. I've had my share of wasted moments, but this time around, I'm holding fast. This time around, I'll
a life of standing ovations, and as the song says, this time I'll be stronger, stronger than before, stronger than I've ever been. She has already proven that, but she will not rest on 4 world titles. Salt Lake City, here comes Michelle Kwan.
Wearing the colors she hopes to wear on the podium in Salt Lake. 4-time current world champion, Michelle Kwan.
This time around, I'm gonna find it. Look out, world, watch me shine, shine. I'm gonna grab that big brass ring, and I'm gonna make it mine.
Josie and the Pussycats presents Champions on Ice. Is brought to you by Josie and the Pussycats. This spring, 3 sexy small-town girls will get their shot at the big time. Josie and the Pussycats, in theaters this April. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by AIM Mutual Funds. Call your financial advisor for a prospectus.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your champions on ice.
Time now for one last look at the many champions skating to the William Tell Overture.
pleasure to watch the skaters kick back and skate for the pure enjoyment. For Rosalind Sumners, Dee Lynam, and Jim Huber, I'm Tracy Wilson. Thanks for watching.
I wish that I could fly